The story begins with a cold hospital corridor filled with luxury, private guards, designer suits, and fear disguised as control. Victor Hale, a billionaire known for his brilliance and arrogance, storms down the hall as his private doctor hesitates to speak. "Say it!" Victor demands. "I'm sorry, sir." Ethan's heart is failing. "We've done all we can." He has maybe 3 days. Silence. Victor, the man who's built empires, feels powerless for the first time. He refuses to accept it. "I'll pay whatever it takes." "Bring in the best, everyone!" The doctor lowers his head. "Sir, it's not about money anymore." Victor turns toward the ICU room where his 10-year-old son lies pale and frail, clutching a stuffed toy, as the monitors beep softly. For the first time, money can't buy hope. Victor makes frantic calls across continents. He charters jets, calls private clinics, threatens lawyers, anything to bend reality. Doctors reply with the same answer. There's nothing we can do. At night, he stands before Ethan's bed, whispering, "You'll be okay, son." Daddy always fixes things. But Ethan weakly smiles and says, "You can't fix hearts with money, Daddy." The line hits Victor like a wound. Something so pure, so honest, it almost sounds like truth itself. Rain pours outside the hospital glass. The city glows in neon reflections, symbol of his empire built on cold light and steel. Inside, his world feels darker than ever. Victor looks at the sky and mutters, "If there's a God out there, I'll pay anything. Just don't take him." Outside the hospital, under a flickering street lamp, a barefoot boy named Ravi sells wilted flowers. He watches ambulances come and go, life and death trading places every hour. When Victor's limousine stops at the gate, Ravi's eyes catch the man's trembling hands. He can tell. This isn't power, it's pain. Ravi whispers to himself, "That man's got everything, but no peace." He quietly picks out his last flower, a faded white rose, and places it near the hospital gate as a small prayer. As Victor walks past, the wind blows the rose against his shoe. He looks down, sees it, and for a strange moment, pauses. But he brushes it aside and walks in. Unseen behind him, Ravi bows his head and prays softly, "Please, let the man's son live." That night, Ravi sneaks past the guards into the hospital garden. He can't explain why, something pulls him there. Through the glass, he spots Ethan sleeping, surrounded by machines. Ravi folds a tiny paper flower from a scrap of newspaper and places it on the window ledge with a note that reads, "Don't be afraid." Hearts can heal. He doesn't sign his name. He just smiles, a small act of hope, and slips back into the shadows before sunrise. The glowing hospital window contrasts with Ravi's dark silhouette outside, two worlds divided by glass, united by innocence. Inside, as dawn breaks, Ethan's fingers twitch. The heart monitor shows a faint improvement. The nurse gasps softly. "His pulse! It's stronger." Morning sunlight pours into the sterile room. Ethan opens his eyes weakly and sees the paper flower on the ledge. He reaches for it, smiling for the first time in days. Victor walks in and freezes. That smile, after weeks of pain, feels like a miracle. "Where did that come from?" Victor asks. The nurse shrugs. "No one knows, sir. It was just there." Victor stares at the flower, its fragile paper petals glowing softly in the light. He doesn't believe in signs, but something about it makes him pause. That night, as he sits beside Ethan's bed, he catches himself staring at the flower again. For the first time, he whispers not to the doctors, not to his money, but to the silence. "If anyone's listening, thank you." The camera pans outside the hospital window, to Ravi, sitting under a tree, looking up at the same window and whispering, "Stay alive, little brother." The wind carries his words softly as the paper flower trembles in the sunlight. This act builds the contrast between wealth and innocence, introduces the miracle of compassion, and sets up the connection between two boys from different worlds, one rich in fortune, the other rich in heart. Doctors still can't explain Ethan's slight improvement. His pulse is steadier, his breathing lighter. Ethan clutches the small paper flower close to his chest like a treasure. I can feel it, Dad. It makes me warm inside. Victor forces a smile. It's just paper, son. But when Ethan drifts off to sleep, Victor catches himself staring at the fragile thing again. The paper flower rests beside a row of high-tech medical machines. Fragile hope beside man-made power. Late at night, Victor spots movement near the window. A shadow. He steps closer and sees a small face watching. Victor rushes outside but finds no one. The next morning, Ethan tells the nurse he saw someone smiling through the window. A boy with kind eyes. That evening, Ravi sneaks back again just to see if the boy is alive. A nurse notices him and grabs his wrist. What are you doing here? Ravi panics. I just wanted to see if he's okay. Ethan hears the commotion and whispers, Let him in. As the nurse hesitates, Ethan's monitor beeps faster, showing distress. The nurse sighs and opens the door. Ravi steps inside, barefoot and nervous, holding a crumpled white flower. Ethan's eyes light up instantly. Ravi sits shyly by the bed. Ethan smiles weakly. You're the one who left the flower, right? Ravi nods. I just wanted you to smile. They talk for hours, about street games, kites, and life under the stars. Ethan laughs until his chest hurts, the sound echoing like a forgotten melody. Ravi draws funny faces on a napkin and Ethan tapes it to his IV stand. A nurse walks in, stunned. He hasn't laughed in weeks. Outside the glass door, Victor watches, his eyes cold at first. Then uncertain, the door bursts open. Victor storms in, furious. Who allowed this boy in here? He's filthy! He could infect my son! Ethan's voice trembles. He's my friend! Don't yell at him! Ravi stands still, clutching his flower. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to hurt anyone! But Ethan starts crying, his heart rate spiking. The doctor rushes in. Victor freezes. For a second, the billionaire who owns half the city feels utterly powerless again. The doctor glares at Victor. If you want your son alive, stop taking away what makes him happy. Victor stands speechless, staring at the boy who just risked his life for a smile. The next day, Victor arrives early. He sees Ethan sleeping peacefully. Ravi sitting quietly beside him, reading a comic book aloud. Victor wants to speak, but something in his throat locks. Instead, he says softly, You can stay. For a while. Ravi nods silently. He adjusts the blanket over Ethan's chest, whispering, You'll be fine, little brother. Camera pans out. The billionaire, the street kid, and the dying boy. 3 lives framed in one hospital room. The sterile walls feel warmer than ever. The doctor enters, stunned again. Mr. Hale, your son's heart is showing unexpected improvement. It's as if something, or someone, is healing him. Victor glances at Ravi, for the first time, not with suspicion, but with wonder. This act bridges class and compassion. A poor boy's innocence becomes medicine stronger than wealth, and a father's heart begins to thaw, though he doesn't yet understand why. Days pass, and Ravi becomes part of Ethan's daily routine. They play small games, make paper crafts, and tell each other stories of worlds where no one is poor, sick, or lonely. Ravi tells Ethan, One day I'll become a doctor, so no kid has to cry like my mom did. Ethan's eyes light up. Then you'll heal everyone, even me. Sunlight streams through the hospital window, the paper flowers they've made fluttering in the gentle wind. The sterile hospital room now looks alive, filled with laughter and handmade hope. Outside, Victor watches again. But this time there's a smile hidden behind his serious eyes. He whispers, He's laughing again. Ethan begins teaching Ravi how to read using his comic books. You have to sound it out, Ethan says patiently. Ravi laughs. These heroes wear capes, but I think real heroes don't. For the first time, Victor joins in, silently observing as Ravi struggles through each word. You're improving fast, Victor says quietly. Ravi beams. A compliment from a billionaire feels like a gift from the world. Ravi carefully writes hope on a paper heart and tapes it to Ethan's bed. The camera pans to Victor, who gently touches it, lost in thought. The doctor enters with a puzzled look. "Sir, Ethan's heart readings are improving. It's medically impossible," Victor asks softly. "Then what is it?" The doctor replies, "Something money can't explain." Victor begins sitting with the boys during their talks. He finds himself laughing, something he hasn't done since his wife died. Ethan teases, "Dad, you look funny when you smile." Ravi giggles, "Maybe his heart's healing too." Visuals, montage of tender moments, Victor reading bedtime stories, Ravi teaching Ethan how to fold paper hearts, Ethan drawing all three of them together, calling it "My Family of Hearts." For the first time, Victor sees beyond money and control. He sees life. Victor later tells his driver to investigate Ravi's background, a habit he can't let go of. The report that comes back will shatter him. The driver returns with a thin file. Victor reads in silence. No father. Mother died in the same hospital 3 years ago, denied treatment for not having insurance. Has been living on the streets ever since. Victor's hands tremble. He shuts the file, guilt crawling up his throat. This hospital, his hospital, was the one that turned Ravi's mother away. He looks at Ravi now, this boy who saved his son, and realizes he's been healing the very system that once broke him. Victor stands outside the room window, looking at the two boys laughing, his reflection splitting across the glass, half light, half shadow. He whispers, almost breaking, "My empire killed his mother, and he's saving my son." That night, as they laugh and play, Ravi suddenly goes pale. His smile fades. He grips the edge of the bed, gasping for air. Ethan panics. "Ravi, what's wrong?" Nurses rush in. Ravi collapses. The doctor shouts, "He's malnourished! His body's giving out!" Victor rushes forward, holding the boy in his arms for the first time. "Stay with me, son! Please!" Ravi whispers weakly. "Don't cry, sir. Hearts heal, remember?" Then he slips unconscious. The paper flower by Ethan's bed falls to the ground, its stem bent. The monitor alarms echo through the corridor. Victor stands between two hospital beds now, one child reborn, another fading. Ravi lies unconscious in the emergency room. His frail body trembles under the bright white lights. Ethan is crying uncontrollably, calling his name again and again. "Ravi, please wake up! You promised we'd fly kites together!" Victor stands frozen, helpless again. The doctor turns to him grimly. "His body is too weak. He needs care immediately, but he's refusing to stay." Victor looks stunned. "Refusing?" The doctor nods. Before he passed out, he said, "Save Ethan first." Flashing lights, machines beeping, chaos. Victor realizes the boy he once called dirty is trying to save the child of the man who owns everything. The doctor's voice trembles as he adds, "And sir, there's something else." His blood type matches Ethan's perfectly. In a small consultation room, Victor is given an impossible option. "If we can do a rare plasma and cell transfer from Ravi," the doctor explains, "it might stabilize Ethan's heart. But the process could endanger Ravi's life." Victor feels his knees weaken. "He's just a child." Ravi, half-conscious, overhears them and whispers, "Then use me. My life's small. His is big." Ethan screams, "No! I won't let you!" Ravi reaches out, touching Ethan's hand. "Heroes don't wear capes, remember?" Two small hands, one trembling from illness, one from weakness, clasped together under hospital light. Victor walks out of the room, breaks down for the first time in years, and whispers, "God, if this is the price, teach me how to live after." The procedure begins. Ravi smiles faintly under the oxygen mask, watching Victor through the glass window. Victor places his hand against the glass and mouths, "Thank you." During the transfusion, Ravi hums a lullaby his mother used to sing, his voice barely audible. The machines beep rapidly. The doctors shout, "We're losing him!" Ravi's heart rate dips, then steadies for a moment. "Ravi, tell him to live his dream." Nurse, "You'll tell him yourself." Ravi, smiling faintly. Maybe, from the sky, the monitor flatlines. The room goes silent, except for Ethan's heartbeat on the next monitor, rising stronger than ever. Morning sunlight floods the hospital. Ethan opens his eyes, unaware of what's happened. Victor rushes to his side, tears streaming down. "Dad, where's Ravi?" Victor can't speak. His throat closes. The nurse hands Ethan a folded paper heart, one Ravi made before the procedure. Inside, in shaky handwriting, "If hearts can heal, then mine will live in yours." Ethan clutches it tight and whispers, "He did the impossible." Camera pans to the empty bed beside him, a faint breeze fluttering the hospital curtain like a farewell wave. Victor steps outside and looks at the sky, whispering through tears, "I swear, your life won't be forgotten." A week later, Ethan is declared out of danger. Doctors call it a medical impossibility. Victor doesn't care about the science anymore. He knows it was love. He finds Ravi's few belongings, a tiny box of paper hearts, a drawing of Ethan smiling, a note that says, "I'm glad I met my family of hearts." Victor holds them to his chest and breaks down completely. For the first time, not as a billionaire, but as a human. He walks to the hospital roof holding one of Ravi's paper hearts. The wind catches it, lifting it into the glowing morning sky. "He gave us more than his blood. He gave us a heartbeat of kindness." The paper heart drifts higher, dissolving into sunlight. The hospital room feels hollow now. Ethan, recovering, stares at the empty bed beside him, Ravi's bed. His hands grip the paper heart tightly, whispering Ravi's name again and again. Victor stands at the doorway carrying Ravi's few belongings. The air feels heavier than ever. He places the small box of paper hearts beside Ethan's bed and says softly, "He's gone, son." But not really. Ethan looks up, eyes red. "He said hearts can heal. Maybe mine will heal too." The two sit silently under the soft hum of hospital lights. A billionaire and a child, both broken, yet slowly finding meaning in the silence Ravi left behind. Victor opens one of Ravi's paper hearts. Inside, written in uneven pencil strokes, "When you have everything, give something." Victor's eyes fill with tears. Something inside him shifts forever. Weeks later, Ethan is discharged, healthy, smiling, and full of Ravi's spirit. Reporters surround the hospital entrance, shouting questions about the billionaire's miracle. Victor steps up to the microphones and says, "It wasn't a miracle made of money. It was made of kindness, from a boy who had nothing but gave everything." He announces the creation of the Ravi Foundation, an organization that will offer free medical care to every child in need. A plaque with Ravi's name being engraved. Children from poor neighborhoods entering clinics with smiles. Victor shaking hands with doctors, not as their employer, but as their equal. As the press applauds, Victor looks up to the sky and whispers, "We're keeping your promise, son." Months later, Ethan visits the hospital for a checkup. He walks past children playing, laughing, children who were once too poor to be treated. A nurse smiles. "They're all Ravi's kids now." Ethan smiles. "He'd like that." Ethan places one of Ravi's paper hearts in the hospital garden. He whispers, "You didn't just save me, Ravi. You saved Dad, too." Victor watches from behind, his eyes glistening with quiet pride. That night, Victor opens his diary for the first time in decades and writes, "For the boy who taught me that wealth means nothing without a heart." Years pass. Ethan, now a young man, walks through the corridors of the new Ravi Children's Heart Center, the Foundation's largest hospital. Every wall carries art made by children, each piece containing a paper heart. Ethan stands before a statue of Ravi, smiling, holding a paper flower, and places fresh flowers at its base. Soft orchestral music plays. A montage shows doctors helping poor families, free heart surgeries being performed, and laughter echoing through the halls once filled with silence. A young patient asks Ethan, "Sir, who was Ravi?" Ethan kneels and replies with a smile, "He was my hero, the boy who gave me a heartbeat." A paper heart slips from the child's hand, floating gently toward the window, sunlight spilling through. Ethan walks to the same hospital window where Ravi once left the first paper flower. He opens it, letting the cool wind rush in. In his hand, one last paper heart, old and fragile. He whispers, "You gave me a heartbeat, Ravi. I'll spend it helping others." He releases it into the sky. The paper heart drifts upward, caught in sunlight, soaring higher and higher, until it disappears into the clouds and fills the frame. Victor and Ethan stand side by side, watching in silence. The music fades into Ravi's faint laughter echoing through the wind. Money can build walls, but kindness builds bridges that never fall. Moral of the story: the richest person isn't the one who has the most. It's the one who gives the most. One poor boy's kindness transformed grief into purpose and built a legacy of love that outlived them all.